Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. I like it like that. Slow motion for me. I have to get that out. I have no idea why that song is in my head today. Engraved in my head. I think I woke up singing that stupid song. I'd like to actually know who that is. Is that Juvenile? That's old school. That's like late 90s, early 2000s? I don't know. Maybe it's not Juvenile. I don't know. I have no idea. But finally doing another episode. Haven't done one in quite a while. I think this is episode 5. Super past overdue. Just a lot going on and just, I don't know, not enough time to really pinpoint what I want to spew out. But, got a couple things now. Not that there's always content lacking, but, just kind of, I guess, what really matters a little more, or just what I feel like doing. So first things first, obviously, let's get a couple things out of the way, which are pretty important to me, obviously. A couple of the endorsements. I just want to remind everybody the Equality for Eternity, the wristbands that Mr. Chris O'Brien is selling, straight out of San Francisco. Regular wristbands, just like the Live Strong ones, just like the Cure for Cancer ones. Really nice wristbands. They just kind of, they symbolize your open-mindedness towards just regular love between man and man, woman and woman, anybody. Just an open-minded idea, just something nice to wear around with pride, just like any one of the other ones. Anything that kind of affects your life personally, obviously. That's that one. There's a new one that I actually want to talk about too. It's a quick one, which I don't know why I haven't talked about this one before, which is the domain that I've been making these websites with. If anybody wants to make a website, and there's a lot of them out there, and this one is absolutely free. You can pay for additional services, additional tool like building accessories, for your site. But it's just called webs.com, and that's what I made this podcast site with, the underground podcast site with. I've made a few. I did the Exit 18 website with that. I'm working on one now for the book that I finally finished for Zen Strings. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the webs.com for it. Super easy. Super easy. It's literally like it just walks you through. It gives you a template of how you want the site to work, like the layout visually. It gives you little options on the bottom on how to build, like where you want to put certain images, videos, links, how you want the letterings to work out, just like font-wise, size-wise, placement of it all, borders, headers, just anything like that. And it's super easy, and I've always been like a sucker for wanting to be able to control like my own website if I wanted to give something out, or if I just needed to use the internet for something, whether it's advertising something, selling something, whatever. I've never felt like I really had any control over a decent looking website other than just a normal like social site like Facebook. And this thing actually makes me feel like I know what the hell I'm doing, It's not super interactive or really advanced, but if you pay for it, it can be, I think, pretty advanced. But all the things you get for free, I mean, you really, I don't know, you can't find it anywhere else, There's really nice templates, and you can sell things from there. You can put all kinds of things, Whether it's like in a blog form, you can put all kinds of different links, You can make this almost like a home base for all the other different projects or endeavors that you're trying to put out there in the world. And it's nice. It's nice to still find things that are for free that still work. And obviously, depending on your domain name, obviously I think it's a good idea to obviously keep it short, but you have to keep the webs.com on it. So, for this one, Momentum Underground Podcast.webs.com, that shit is way too long. But I made a huge mistake of spelling the stupid thing wrong in the first place, so I had to pay like $5 to fix it. And when I did, I had to add podcasts, and now it's, 3 or 4 words long plus webs.com. It's like no one's gonna find that shit, but oh well. Maybe someday I'll fix it. But for now, it is what it is. And the main point is, the shit is free. It's free. It feels good to have free things. I love it. So yeah, that's that one. I didn't do that one last time. Or ever before. Another two quick things, Link TV, like I said, a good alternative media. Well, not really that alternative, but it's just public media, good documentaries, good news shows. I think they have like an Al Jazeera show, but they're actually working on their own whole 24-hour network now. But they have like the Democracy Nows and a couple other things too. But really, really good channel. I think it's $3.75 if anybody has DirecTV. But if not, you can go right to their website. You can get an app for it. It used to just be for Apple, but now I think they've expanded it so you can use it on like an Android or just anything like that. So you can go on there. All the documentaries are free, up-to-date news stories, ones that matter, I guess, depending on who you are. No one's going to cut in halfway through an interview to tell you that Mr. Bieber got arrested. But, if you got to know that, you got to know that. So I guess you'll find out eventually. The other one, too, is Credo Action. I've been an advocate for this one for a little while. Credo Action is a site where they keep up-to-date petitions on certain subjects, whether you are for them or against them, whatever it is that it may be. They do have a lot of options on there, a lot of different social or political kind of situations where you can kind of get your own take on it. And if you want to be a part of helping something not go through, or if you just want to be a part of something that's supposed to just set the precedent of that a community out there cares about this or doesn't care about it, and you can be a part of that voice, and you can just sign up, and it's just like an online signature, and it's at Credo Action. I think it's credoaction.com. Yeah. So check it out. Sorry. So today, what the hell have we got going on? What is this? Okay. Music time. I've been going crazy over this band. And I say that because I didn't really know. You listen to music these days, and which I think might be kind of cool, because I know I do it myself. You can't even tell if it's an actual band, or if it's just two guys working on music, or if it's just one person in their house making music. Everybody's quality is really, up to par, and just creativity is very, very good. So there's this band that I have, and obviously I found it on Spotify. I'm a Spotify whore. I use it way too much, but I do like it because it helps me find a lot of good stuff. I'll get it going now. It's called PLINI, PLINI, and it's like this really neat. In my mind, it's just like a jazz fusion kind of hard rock metal thing. It's all instrumental. There's no singing in this. And at first, I found a 3-song EP, and I loved it, which is what's on right now. Let me see, what is this one called? The 3-song EP is called Other Things. That's what's on right now. And then I found another EP, which is I think about 5 songs. I have that going on after this. And let's see. Anyways, I got these 2 CDs, and they've been on rotation like crazy. I just love the modal playing in it, the intricacies of it, how simple it can be too, the contrasting sections, This actually gets pretty heavy at some points, but then some, like certain little parts, very, this haunting Opethy Chick Corea kind of acoustic work too. Nasty. So I'm sitting here and I'm just listening to all this, listening to the music, and listening, days, weeks go by, and I'm like, I'm an asshole. I haven't even looked at, I want to see who these guys are. Do they play out? Where are they from? Blah, blah, blah. So I go and finally check it out, and it's pretty much one guy who has a lot of different guests on here. And they're all different, and, when you track back the guests, they all do their own, really awesome music and projects and things themselves. So this one guy, who, by the way, is 21. This kid is from Sydney, Australia. 21 years old. Gets these guys together, drummers, guitar players, and it's just an agreement. Like, this is kind of like I guess maybe his project, but like a pretty steady side project for the rest of these guys or girls. And it's incredible, man. I just love it. It's really soothing. It's very like I said, it's really melodic and just fun to listen to. Really fun to listen to. I like the intricacy of it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a couple things I guess I've heard before that sound like this, but it's just a fusion of it all. That's why I just, the jazz fusion, there's a lot of little sprinkles of other things that I really, really like in it too. I really like where they go. PLINI, PLINI. So if you want to check them out, they do have a Facebook. They got a Bandcamp. You can buy their CDs in physical form. I definitely think you can't get them physically at like a Newberry Comics or Best Buy or whatever, because I've tried and they don't have it, so I had to get it online. Just order it online, like everything else is online. And you know what else is online, which is the first thing I wanted to talk about. I've been going crazy over certain supplements. I'm a big supplement guy. I really like, maybe I obsess over it, just because I like to fill the little holes I can't really fill with my diet, I'm kind of a pussy. I can't really eat a lot of things. I've realized that after however many years. I just can't eat shit, Love the friggin' burgers, love the pasta, but everything has to be a specific way, I don't know, I just can't enjoy the foods that I used to enjoy, which makes me it forces me to have to eat a little healthier. So, I guess in saying that, I've also looked into supplements just to see if I can kind of elevate how I feel, mentally, mentally and physically. I'm tired, I get sick of that drowsiness. I get sick of that mild undercurrent of weird depression that you get from nothing, whether it's the weather or maybe in my case, maybe it's like certain things that I'm eating, I'm just not on my game, on certain days. And you just get sick of it. So I just kind of paper trail it back to maybe things that I'm eating, maybe obviously a little more exercise, and then trying to get some supplements and things like that. So the two that are a little off the path that I find that I just have recently gotten into, one of them is called chaga. It's a chaga mushroom. And, typical story. It's an old mushroom of the earth. A lot of people in the Asian regions, a lot of China, Japanese, just kind of like the cordyceps mushroom too. These are the regions where they kind of almost they originate, or at least the research originates, so people start turning the mushrooms into more of a supplement form, a liquid form. And with this chaga thing, I got a liquid form of it. Tastes like shit. It literally tastes like a Yukon Jack without getting the buzz. It literally feels like it's just an alcohol shot. It's disgusting. And I thought I'd get it because I think I've heard that when you take things orally like this, sometimes they can go through your body a little easier. You're able to saturate it and kind of consume it a little more efficiently. So I got that, and it was cheaper too. It was like $15 for this little bottle. It's like 30 days worth of under the tongue kind of thing. But I started researching this thing, and it's incredible. It's got like 5 times the antioxidants that like an acai berry has, which a lot of people like to have it in an actual berry form or drink form, and they like 4 or 5 times more than of antioxidants. And the antioxidants, I mean, that helps with just like your immune system, feeling healthy, keeping certain things that could come up in the future at bay, like certain, what did it say? Like certain cancers, They say it's an anti-cancer. I'll give you a list of this thing. This thing is crazy. Anti-cancer, anti-HIV. Hopefully I got nothing to do with that. Antibacterial, anti-malarial, anti-inflammatory, which is nice too. With certain joints and certain ligaments and things like that. Shit that I get once in a while, You gotta help that anti-inflammatory aspect of it. What the frig else? Antiviral, antifungal, antimicrobial, adaptogen. It's got amino acids. What the hell else? Bunch of shit. Oh, calcium, chloride, copper, enzymes. Which enzymes? I kind of have been looking into that too, just because I know that it helps with like the digestion of foods. Sometimes you can get a little out of whack and when you eat, even if you eat good foods, your digestive system doesn't really let you kind of break down all the components the right way, and you don't get the full effect of what you're eating, even if you're eating really, really well. And the enzymes kind of help that. So it's kind of neat to see that that was in there. A little bit of iron. I know that helps with energy. Magnesium, which I'll get into later, but I was very happy that I had that. How else? Oh, the friggin' list goes on into shit that I don't even know. I'm not even gonna try to explain it to you, half of these things, because I'm out of school on all that crap. But it's like an endless list, you know, and it really reinforced some of the things that I've looked at before with this whole like mushroom craze. You know, mushrooms are just a really incredible plant that have so many different attributes and just variables on how they help your health. And it's just neat because, you know, unlike other certain things, it doesn't just, you're not getting a huge amount of just straight up iron or just straight up magnesium or protein, you know. This extract, this mushroom, for some weird reason, has so many different other components in it, you know. And, yeah, it's just incredible. I've been taking it, I'd say, for a couple weeks now. Other than it tasting like shit, it's really, really good. I actually really enjoy it, and I've been kind of feeling it. I've been just up a little more lately, and I'm sure that has to do with just the combination of things that I've been taking too. But I don't know, whatever. There's nothing wrong with just trying it. You know, it's not super expensive, and you know, the side effects, other than like the typical side effects that you could have being pregnant or already having certain like urinary cancers or things like that, you know, that's definitely something you have to be wary of with the side effects on that. And definitely this is something that you should probably go over with your doctor before you even take it. But I didn't, so whatever. I'm swimming without a lifeguard. So that's that. Yeah, the chaga mushrooms. Check them out. I'll try to put up a link on the site, just to have something so you can kind of take a look at it. And the other one that I had was a buddy of mine in my jiu-jitsu class was telling me about deer velvet. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Deer velvet. So I go and look up this thing. Crazy. I never knew anything about this. This deer velvet, it's like this thing that grows on the bones and the cartilage on deer antlers. Preferably you want this deer velvet from red deer that are from New Zealand. They have really, really good whatever deer velvet, you know, on their antlers and things like that. And I guess they do this obviously humanely, whether some of these sources online are kind of lying or whatever, but, you know, I'd like to think that you can take a little bit off the antler and just, like, you know, not have to kill the whole fucking thing. But whatever. And this deer velvet, this whole thing has to do with, like, a lot of recovery and recovery aspects. Like, I think it acts or has a little bit of glucosamine in it, which is something that helps your tendons recover. And if you do a lot of weightlifting, or if you do any kind of just extensive aerobic or combative or anything like that, you know, sometimes you can find that you can get weird, almost tendonitis pains or deep tissue pains that might have to relate to your tendons, because your muscles grow quicker than your tendons, and if you overwork them, you know, your muscles end up surpassing the ability to grow or to really adapt to your workout more so than your tendons, and your tendons can end up just like getting inflamed or just getting really fucked up. And I can get that once in a while in my right arm. And this deer velvet, I guess, helps that. It helps with the recovery on that. It helps with, it boosts a little bit of your strength and endurance, too. It helps with certain aspects of your muscle mass. They've used it to help treat, like, high cholesterol, blood pressure, migraines, asthma, kidney disorders. This thing is also another just, like, profound, random thing that, that's in nature that we found that in supplement form helps the shit out of people. You know, and then there's a whole nother side of this whole kind of supplement thing where it's like, well, you know, is it your mind playing tricks on you? Do you feel better because you actually believe in the substance that you're taking? You know, because there's a lot of inability to test a lot of results with certain supplements. But like I say, if it's not, you know, if somebody's not trying to peddle you with this thing for like $100 or something, you can get it for like $20, you know, and you know your own health, and you know hopefully the side effects, and you know enough research, I say why not try it, especially if it's something that's not super synthetic or like a combination of things that come from like a test tube in a lab. To me, this seems like an all natural substance, and I'm all about all natural substances. Weird thing too is this thing also, I guess it can increase your sex hormones, which obviously for all of us is probably not a bad thing. Says it also can improve fertility in women, and performance problems, erectile dysfunction, also known as ED. So watch out, boys. Some of you might need this. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. So these two things I've been looking into a lot, and to feel the full effects of them, I don't think I've gotten there just yet, because everything's kind of new. I just started taking them. So the hell else? Yeah, I just started taking them. The more so the chaga ones. Chaga ones have been taking a little longer than the deer velvet, and they just been helping a lot. And the last thing I kind of wanted to throw in there for at least like the supplement thing was the magnesium. It's magnesium. I use this magnesium powder. Trying to figure out what it is, but it's just straight magnesium. And I guess magnesium you can't really get in a lot of your foods. You can't get it in a lot of liquids and the meals that you have. I know magnesium is in. I definitely know magnesium is in hemp milk. I'm trying to drink a lot of hemp milk, which is delicious. Has good omegas and everything, and magnesium. Magnesium, I think a lot of people use it for more so like a sleeping aid, because it can get you tired. Let me just check something real quick. But I know that when I researched magnesium, the reason why I got into it was because I wanted something to help in my recovery. And it helps with your recovery a lot. And I can test to that, because I've gotten this, and you just put a little bit of hot water in this mixture that I have, and I kind of double the dose on certain days that I'll train. And the next day, I can really feel, in comparison to when I don't take it, this kind of thing, and a few other things maybe before I go to sleep, I can really feel that my muscles aren't killing me, aching me, my thighs, the back of my legs, just, certain parts that usually get a little sore from getting my ass handed to me, they don't feel as bad, which is a good thing. It helps you heal in a much more natural way, which helps you hopefully train a little more to the level that you want to in a more safe way, or just kind of, helps you just get up and go, Sometimes when you're just that sore and just that beat up, you're just, you tell yourself, I don't think I can take that again tonight, especially with how I'm feeling, What the hell? Let's see. Magnesium. Yeah, either way, look into it yourself. Check it out. Check out the deer velvet stuff. Check out the chaga. Huge health benefits. Check out the and check out the magnesium. Helps with the heart. Helps with blood pressure too. Bone strength. All that stuff. What I do know is it's nice to take before you go to sleep, because it really relaxes your system. Really relaxes the muscle fibers while you sleep. So when you're more relaxed and they kind of loosen up a little bit while you're sleeping, in the morning when you come back, they've kind of like they've almost regenerated. They've recovered a little easier using the aid of that magnesium. But take a look into it. I mean, the whole health benefit of it is pretty vast. It's huge. So take a look at that. And the reason why I kind of talk about all these things is because I've needed to look into ways to kind of recover, because I started doing, I changed over from boxing, and I still do a little bit of it, but no real sparring, I moved over to jiu-jitsu. I started going down to a gym, Team Link gym down the street from my house. And I gotta say, it's like, I've always wanted to do jiu-jitsu, but just really couldn't afford it, or whatever the circumstances were. But when I started doing that, I mean, it did everything that I kind of assumed that it was going to do. And what that was really kind of change me in a lot of weird ways, you know? And I think a lot of people might say that when it comes to certain physical activities. And I think it's true, you know? Whether you exercise or you like to take a run in the morning, people say, oh, I feel better. Everything just feels more clear to me. I'm much happier. You know, there's an absolute connection between the certain chemical reactions in the brain connected to your physical activity and how you just view yourself, how you just feel about yourself, how you're able to kind of look at your life situation. And it's exactly what it did to me, you know? I was a little anxious going in because it is you know, you're right with somebody, you know? You're face to face, hand to hand, and you're trying to stay calm when someone's really putting a lot of pressure on you, you know? All the while, in between there, trying to surprise you by choking you or manipulating your limbs and things like that. But my God, man, you know, when you go in there, it's incredible how much of yourself you really have to let go. How you having to let go of losing and failing every couple minutes. You know, every minute you're failing, especially when you're new. People are choking you out left and right, and if you can't accept that, you're not going to come back. You know. But if you do accept it, and I have accepted it, the relationships you build are incredible. The lessons you learn about yourself and how you deal with like high pressure. You know, how long does it take for you to give up? You know, how long does it take for you to adapt and figure out certain paths to maybe being at a more dominant position? You know. How to stay calm and how can you pay attention? How do you intuitively feel your body against the other person to try to manipulate that person, you know, using that other person's own strength. And it's just incredible, man. It really is. And here and there I'll still go to training with a little anxiety just because I don't think I'm totally at the point where I've embraced the idea of having, you know, these people just smash me every single night, you know? But it's done in a very different way, you know? It's done almost elegantly, you know? These guys really teach me a lot about myself, and you know, I'm never in a situation where it becomes so uncomfortable that I just can't do it, you know? But it is still very difficult, and it's humbling too, you know? When you don't know much about the grappling game or the jiu-jitsu game, you know, you wonder, well, when am I going to grasp certain things? And it's a lifetime of learning these kind of things, or this technique, or this discipline, really. And it's just crazy how much you really have to just let go. You have to let go and just realize that you're just such a novice at this thing. You know, people want to be good at things. People want to feel good about themselves because they can achieve certain things. And I knew going into this, I wanted to learn something from being able to fail at this thing constantly. You're losing. You know, you're like you're a baby, you know, in the hands of all these adults. It's so crazy. But what I've gotten out of it, it's incredible. I'm a huge advocate for the whole jiu-jitsu culture now, and anybody that wants to do any exercise, no matter how old you are, you know, it really has, like, all my assumptions on what I thought doing this whole jiu-jitsu thing was going to do to me, all those assumptions really kind of are still coming to fruition. You know, I see my life a little easier. I feel I come home knowing, you know, how do I explain it? I come home knowing that I did give it my all, you know, and a lot of times you don't get the situation to give it your all, especially physically, and that to me is a huge bridge to how, you know, the kind of like the mind and body really interact, you know. The message is traveling through how you perform physically, and then how you kind of siphon through it, filter it, and internalize it mentally, you know. The 5 minutes on the mat really sometimes it really can reflect how I live my life, you know. They're like small little 5-minute epic battles on how deep I can kind of send send my mind, and how I really feel about myself, and how I am able to really overcome situations, And physically, it's one of the most, like, you're so in the moment physically, It's such a heavy meditation, and anything like that, whether you're playing golf or just anything like that, where it takes such focus, you're so in that moment, And that moment to me is a huge meditative practice. And being in that moment, to me, kind of conditions my ability to be in the moment in other aspects of my life, with my relationships, with the people that I love, with my relationship just with myself, It's really helping me kind of vanquish this self-worth complex I've had for a lot of my life, And that was a little bit of the fuel of wanting to do this too, I had something to prove to myself, and I'm still proving things to myself. And I find that all the things that I've done, none of it have really done it like jiu-jitsu, Music has done it too, in a very different way. And they both really kind of go hand in hand with each other on how they've benefited me and helped me grow and helped me kind of discover myself and still discover myself. Huge benefits from jiu-jitsu. I'm a lifer as long as, I'm a lifer. And hopefully, if I get hurt or when I get hurt, I recover well enough where I can come back, And it hasn't happened yet, but I can see the little situations where you can get hurt, And that's where you got to work on your ability to not always fight everything in rolling, Don't always try to be dominant, and just try to be flexible and healthy, So we'll see, and being aware of your partner and not hurting them, and hopefully they don't hurt you. But God, I love it, man. The whole thing feels so good. It's so beneficial, I could go on and on and on, but obviously I won't. But it's incredible, and I do love it. And if anybody, wants to get in shape, do something that's not just sitting there and, bench pressing and fucking walking and doing a lot of these kind of monotonous things that I've done all of them, I've done them. And that's like the biggest drawback to certain workouts, is that just it becomes the same thing, And I think that's why people like attending classes even at the gym, where you're doing like some cardio kickbox, or you're doing some kind of cycling, in a group. It just changes it up. It adds a little bit of competitiveness to it too. And and you're not just by yourself, kind of like trying to do a certain amount, 10 reps, 12 reps, 15 reps. Like, what is it? What is that achieving? Where are you going with this? Or where are you going to use the results of this? And that's what I like. I like the belt system. I like the ability that in this exercise, as you progress, how you see your progression is how your results come out through rolling with other people. People of higher belts, lower belts. And you see it. It's a real thing. 1 week I'll feel like I was on my game and I really learned, and I finally stopped embracing the survivor and started more embracing a little more of the predator aspect of it, and I was understanding it. And then the next week I just get run over like a fucking train just hit me, and every blue belt, purple belt, brown belt just demolished me. And then your ego gets back in check a little more. It's a fun balance on how it really starts to destroy the ego on a lot of things. And this definitely does it. So yeah, check out jiu-jitsu, guys. You got any questions? Just go. It's incredible. I love it. I'm a huge advocate of it. And ask me questions, whatever. I'm a novice to the whole thing, but I'm still swimming in the mystique of it all. The beauty of it all, the kind of like the pretentious divinity of it all, if you want to get all stupid, wordy, and crazy, because there's something powerful in it, beautiful, and for me, a little spiritual. It's a huge character developer. I love it, and to me, I feel like I've needed that for a while, and I still need that, and those are the things that I embrace, things that try to make me into a better person, into a nice person, a happy person, and somehow this physical, combative sport really does that for me. So try it out, guys. I mean, look into it if you've ever questioned it. It's nice. So I guess just to finish this thing off real quick, I just wanted to mention something that I'm going to put up a video on the website for, and what it's for is something that I've heard a little bit of here and there in a couple different news outlets that I've been reading or watching, and it's a hard thing to describe, but it has to do with this thing called the TPP Trade Act. And I guess it encompasses a lot of different countries and corporations that come together to try to figure out new trade routes, new policies. It's pretty much a big treaty on how different countries are going to interact with each other with certain imports and exports. The only problem with that is that I guess this thing is like really, really under the rug, and a lot of treaties have to go through Congress to get them passed, or to get, to just legalize them, There's a whole process to everything, right? So, and that's one of them. It has to go through that whole body of government. And I guess this one, has been done a lot in secret, and it's almost trying to work on this fast track kind of implementation where once it's all done, they want the president to really pretty much present it to Congress, but in the vein of it already being initiated. Like, they pretty much have to say yes. And you can't really do that. And I guess this thing is like 29 chapters long. The thing's huge. And supposedly only 5 chapters of it have to do with trade. The rest of it have to do with, like, weird regulations that actually might affect us. And I know a little while back, a lot of people voted out this whole SOPA Act, which was an internet, what was it? It was something that had to do with the restrictions of the internet, certain websites, certain providers of the internet, copyright infringements and things like that. And some of this shit is in this TPP Act, and it's pretty heavy, and it's in certain chapters. So if this whole thing passes, it's almost like SOPA slid into this thing and got implemented on its second round of trying to actually be implemented, through like the back door, I guess you could say, and I don't know. I'm a big internet freedom kind of advocate, and reading some of these things is it's a little crazy, where you can get fined or imprisoned for certain minor kind of minor distributions of certain pictures or documents or recipes or things like that have to do. They consider that like a copyright infringement, when they're more of like a buffer copy, like giving recipes away, or sharing of a video, that's already copyrighted. It's like really, really, really strict, to the point where they give you your provider might give you like 3 strikes, and then they literally take away your internet. Like they stop you as a provider. That's a little fucked up. So that's just something that's kind of come up recently that I was looking into, and it seems like it's a big deal. It really does seem like it's a big deal, and I wish I could really kind of give you a much more insightful and better way of explaining this. But I have a couple things on here. I had the Noam Chomsky video up on the main page, but I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to put up a little segment of a Democracy Now! A Democracy Now! Interview that has a couple people on it that actually explain this TPP Act, and in a really, really clear, precise, wonderful way for everybody to really be able to understand. So I'll put that video up on that main site, and then Jesus, these commercials, they fucking kill me. I guess you could get the premium and then not get these commercials like they say. But I don't think so. So, so I'll put that video up, good explanation of it. Take a look at that, and if you feel that it's something that you really want to get behind, Credo Action, which is one of the things I like to endorse on here, they actually have a petition on it which explains it a little bit, and you can sign the petition there too. Just to kind of put your 2 cents on it, put your small nugget of influence towards it. So, like I said, I'll put the video up. Check it out. It'll be a good way of explaining it to you, and hopefully this is something that will benefit us, but I don't think it will, and if it doesn't, hopefully we can make it from actually going through. just because it's the internet, man. I mean, how many restrictions do you want to have on it? You know, this is the way we communicate. This is the way we empower each other and definitely empower ourselves, you know. So check it out, and I guess that's it, guys. Yeah, a couple rambles, nutrition, jiu-jitsu, TPP Act. Hopefully you got a little something out of this podcast, and hopefully I'll do another one pretty soon. I know it took a while for this one, but I don't know. I guess we'll be back pretty soon. Make sure to check out PLINI from Sydney, Australia. Because they fucking kill it, man. They kill it. This band friggin' is awesome. I love them. Love them, love them, love them. So hopefully I find a couple of nice ones like that. I'll throw them up on here too. So, alright guys, enjoy. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. I like it like that. Sorry. So sorry. So stupid.